Good morning. Thank you so much, Camila. Appreciate that intro. So, welcome to this morning's weekend prelude. We are talking about an audaciously forward approach, which sounds a little bit intriguing, I hope, but it's the third part of our upgrade to the crisis response. So, back in March and April, the DMS obviously got together, the executive committee and the board got together, and we figured out how we would respond to this crisis. Well, now things are changing. Now things are, just moving forward. We want to move forward with them. So we are upgrading our response to being basically fine-tuned, flexible, and forward-looking. So today is the third part. If you missed any of the last two parts, go ahead and look on YouTube. They're on our channel, the messages. You'll see them right there at the top of our YouTube channel page. So this is the last part in this particular series. So what on earth is this all about? And let's give this some context, okay? I'm a big fan of Zig Ziglar. I don't know if you're familiar with Zig Ziglar, a motivational salesman speaker from the 70s and 80s. Wonderful career himself as a salesman, and then he started teaching the world how to basically get yourself up in the morning and do a good job. He was kind of like a practical version of Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale's another great motivational speaker with great concepts, great ideas, but Zig Ziglar was out there doing it. So I like this particular quote from Zig Ziglar. He said, "You'll never make it as a wandering generality. Oh my goodness, generality. You'll never make it as a wandering generality. You must become a meaningful specific. You must become a meaningful specific." And I don't know if you've noticed over the last decade or so, but in the late 80s, early 90s, or throughout the 90s, a lot of people, particularly into the 2000s, a lot of companies started what they call diversifying, and that the generalist was being held up as the way forward. It's turned out that that doesn't work, that we really need to focus on what it is that we do well and do it well, rather than try and do lots of things not as well as we could. So people like Time Warner sold off AOL, Ford sold off Jaguar and Volvo, because they realized those weren't the markets. That was not what they were about. The safety features of Volvo and the engine capabilities of Jaguar was not what Ford was about. That wasn't their market. So they tried to become generalists and cater to everyone, and found out that it really doesn't work. So they decided to focus and put forward just the bits that they could do themselves. So this quote by Zig Ziglar is so very relevant to today. You'll never make it as a wandering generalist, just trying to figure out life as you go along, reacting to things as they happen. Reacting is not good. You need to become a meaningful specific, and when you choose how you respond. So yes, that's absolutely right. We cannot determine our circumstances, but we can choose how we respond to things. So the DMS is looking to respond with some forward thinking, moving forward. The world is going to continue spilling whether we like it or not. We're constantly moving forward. So if we want everything to stay the same and not change over time, we're going to get stuck. We're going to end up looking backwards and getting forgotten about. It's happening. There are a lot of organizations, particularly music organizations, that are effectively disappearing because they don't want anything to change. They like their comfort zones, and we've explored that before. Look at that in another previous Weekend Prelude message. It's on YouTube. You get in your comfort zone and you stay there. Well, the world is going to continue moving forward with or without you. So we need to move forward if we're going to keep connecting local communities with live music. So there are three things I'd like to cover with regards to this in the context of what Zig Ziglar said. The first thing I think quite fascinating is the fact that nobody likes plain water. Think about it. I mean, we're told to drink water all the time, right? It is supposed to be healthy for us, and it is healthy for us. We should drink a lot of water, but nobody actually likes plain water on its own. Yes, we drink it. A lot of us claim to like drinking a lot of water, but in fact, a lot of the water that we drink is flavored. It's got chemicals in it that are good for us, like fluoride, like a little bit of chlorine, and we can actually taste that. If you buy bottled water, the different companies and different makes of their bottled water taste different. You can even add flavored ice to it. I mean, plain water on its own isn't good enough. We need to add ice to it. Maybe a bit of lime or lemon. Maybe even make it into a tea. We can add flavors like orange squash or Ribena. Particularly in the UK, we have a lot of cordials that we, just put a little bit of the flavor in it and then fill the rest up with water, because we don't like plain water. Sometimes even we just throw some bubbles in it. We carbonate it, and we throw bubbles in it. So just plain boring water isn't something that people generally like. We like to flavor things up a little bit. So how does that relate to the fact that the DMS doesn't want to be a generalist, but we want to be something with meaning and focus on something specific? Well, there are 6 directions that we can move in. And because the world is, and the universe is constantly moving, it is constantly spinning, and it's going to move regardless. There are actually 6 directions that we will always move in. There is actually no standing still. You're always going to be moving in a direction. You could be moving up, you could be moving down, you could be moving left or right, you could be moving forward or backwards. Those are the 6 directions. Which one do you choose? If you think you're standing still and you're not going to change, or you're not going to move forward or in any other direction, you are actually moving backwards. There is no static. It would be nice to move up and forwards at the same time, and that's what we all aim for. But because that's how basically you just make progress, you actually get things done. But you can move sideways, you could adjust a little bit, or maybe you could go in the other direction. Okay, you can obviously move forward. You can, if you're standing still, you're moving backwards. You can go up, or you could descend. You can go down. So there are 6 directions to move in, and it's up to us. We get to choose on an individual basis which direction we move in. Now, what Zig Ziglar was referring to, I think, as a generalist, is the people who kind of just don't care which direction they go in, and they just go with the wind. Wherever the wind is blowing, that's the direction they're going to go. They have no idea where they're going to end up, what they're going to end up doing. They just react to their circumstances around them, and where life takes them is where they're going to go. We were given way more ability as human beings to think and therefore plan and choose. And I think it's a bit of a cop-out if we just react to what's going on around us. You choose how you respond to things, but if you just let things happen and then you just kind of end up going over here because that's what you felt like doing one particular day, what about the next day when you have something different? You're going to get up and move again? Yes, people do that. They live like that. Going with the wind is you're never going to make it, as Zig Ziglar said, as a wandering I can't say that word this morning. I'm going to give up. You can't move forward. You can't make it if you're just going to go with the wind and you have no plan. So you do need, in fact, to set your target. You need to set your sights on something and figure out which direction you choose to go in. You choose how you respond to things with your target in mind. Think of an archer, for example. They don't just pick up their bow and arrow and shoot. They actually have some sort of target in the distance that they're going to shoot at. They take into consideration all the environment, the wind, the rain, if it's a moving target or not, obstructions, all that kind of stuff. It's exactly the same with living life, particularly in the DMS and with live music right now. We need to set ourselves targets. You need to set yourself a target. Become a meaningful specific. And then you can move forward. But how do you actually move forward? There is only actually one way to move forward on anything. You actually have to take action. You actually have to do something. Again, this is something that a lot of people are not used to doing. We're not taught how to take action. We're taught to react and to respond and to wait for other people to do things. That doesn't get anything done at all, ever. For example, you may have on your bucket list the dream to climb some sort of mountain. Well, how do you climb a mountain? It's very easy. By taking steps. That's it. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff around that go with that, like firing an arrow. There's a whole bunch of things to take into consideration when you fire an arrow. But your target is to get to the top of the mountain. How are you going to do that? Step by step by step. That's it. Everything else will help make those steps easier, including, if you're going up Everest, oxygen. You're going to need it. So there's a lot of things that you can do to take action, but take action. That's what helps you become a meaningful specific. Obviously, you do need to know where you're headed. We've set our target. We need to know what that destination actually looks like. What is it like at that other end? We may never have experienced the top of Mount Everest, but we can find out from others. We can even look and observe from below and see what it's like. So we know what that destination looks like, what it feels like, what we're going to need while we're up there. For example, food and water. You can probably get water from the snow. It's pure enough, that height. But what about food? What about the fuel that you intake? What about oxygen? You need to know your destination. It's not enough just to set your target on climbing the mountain, but you need to actually know what it's like when you're going to get there, because planning is good, right? Planning is good if you then implement the plan. It's no good. No plans are good. I mean, I've got so many plans in my filing cabinet. Actually, my filing cabinet's stuck away in that closet back there. And it's full of plans. The vast majority of which never saw the light of day. A plan itself is a good thing, and you need a plan, but then you've got to actually do it. Plan, then do. We seem to get stuck on that first part and then never do anything. Not taking action, not doing, not taking that next step is going to cause problems. You don't become a meaningful specific by not taking steps, by not implementing. So plan your stuff, plan how to get to the destination, plan your route, plan the equipment that you need. Prepare for lots of bad weather. You're going to get to the top of the mountain if you take the next step. Literally one step at a time, particularly at the top. I've heard this from so many people. Each step gets harder and harder the higher you go. I believe that. But they still take the steps to get there. Now what you can do, and I think this is, again, something that we tend to forget about, especially if we don't want things to change and we want to stand still, we don't actually want to keep moving forward in life, is that we actually forget to learn from the past. Because we are comfortable in our comfort zones, we don't actually want to change. We don't want to learn from what we've learned before. We've already learned it. That's not going to help us climb the mountain. There are, in fact, lots of traditions that exist out there to help us in our journey. Traditions are great things to learn from. Now, does a tradition mean it has to stay the same? The answer is no, because at some point, that tradition didn't exist. All right, think about that. At some point, a tradition now was at one point new. So we can take that tradition and we can learn from it. Many, many times, it's a good thing to keep that tradition the way it is. But there may also be times when we can adjust it in order to keep moving forward and become a meaningful specific. So learn from traditions. Don't just implement them and do them. Don't just let them sit there and either fade away or just repeat over and over again. Actually learn from what's gone in the past and either repeat those traditions because they work, or if you need to, upgrade your forward-thinking idea, then yeah, grab some cojones, right? Find where they are, be audacious, be full of bold integrity, and take some action and learn and move forward. Learn from your traditions. You can also learn from your own experience. You may never have climbed Mount Everest before, but you've probably climbed a hill that got you a little bit out of breath. You can learn from that. You can learn from the fact that other people have climbed the mountain you're trying to climb. Now, maybe you might be the first person to reach the summit. You might be the first person to try and attempt something like, I don't know, Neil Armstrong is, well, no, he wasn't even the first person to try and attempt to get to the moon. But he was the first person to successfully do it. So nobody had walked on the moon before Apollo. The Apollo crew did. And Neil Armstrong stepped on the moon. Nobody had done that before. But he had so much experience about space flight and about flying in general and about working in anti-gravity situations or lower gravity situations that he could cope with it. He was prepared. He had a target. He knew his destination. He knew what he was going into. And therefore, he could plan and take action. Now, yeah, he was one person in a huge, huge machine of thousands of people that were contributing to that plan, to that target, to that destination. But they were all working towards a meaningful specific. They were not just saying, hey, let's throw something out into space and see where it lands. No, that's not what they did. No organization, particularly one like the DMS, can exist without lots and lots of people. In 2019, we hosted 125 events. That's including all the rehearsals, because every rehearsal is an event. And we had over 126 people volunteering their time to participate and bring live music to our local communities. That's huge. The DMS cannot exist without you even listening and sharing the word and taking action. So as we respond to our crisis, we do want to keep moving forward quite audaciously. But for me, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. There's no point. I don't want to duplicate what's gone on before. What a waste of time, just replicating what other people have done or are doing. That makes no sense to me. People have been through what we're going through in various circumstances. It may not have been a pandemic, but they've been through some sort of crisis. We can learn from them. We should learn from those who have come before us. Take those traditions, take those experiences, and rather than try and rediscover how to do the same thing over and over again, it's so easy these days to learn just about anything you want to learn online. You can watch videos, you can read articles, you can even access library books now online. And you can read any sorts of books that, Kindle or Amazon or Audible, any of these organizations that publish books online now for electronic reading. You can learn so much. There is absolutely no point trying to reinvent the wheel and discover for the first time how to do something. We should learn from the past through traditions, through our experiences, but also so that we don't have to waste our time, energy, and effort in reinventing the wheel. Let's progress. Let's keep moving forward. So I get it. All right, it's uncomfortable. This is why we like our comfort zones, because even though the world around us is going to keep moving forward, with or without us, we can choose how we respond to that. Nobody likes just plain water. We like the flavor. We like the direction that we're in right now. But we're going to have to keep moving forward. We're not going to make it if we're just wandering around trying to do whatever we want to do, just going with the wind. We need to become that meaningful, specific. So we're going to set our targets. We're going to know our destinations. We're going to take action, which means one step at a time. We're going to plan and then just do what we can. We're actually going to implement. And then we can learn from the past. We can learn from our traditions. We can learn from our experience, which includes successes as well as mistakes. A lot of people say, learn from your mistakes. Well, yeah, we all make mistakes, but we also have a lot of success. So learn from that success as well. So learn from your experience, and let's try and avoid reinventing the wheel. There's no need for that. And that is basically how the DMS is going to move forward quite audaciously, with a lot of boldness. We're going to be full of integrity and just take one step at a time, whatever that looks like, but we are going to continue being a meaningful specific. We're not going to try and be a generalist. We know what we're good at, and if we can help you do what you do better, then that's what we're going to help you do. All right, that's exactly why the DMS exists, to help you do what you do best, whether it's listen to music or perform music or share music with others. Whatever it is that you want to do, or even just help make music happen and connect with others, we will help you do that. That's how we're going to keep moving forward, being fine-tuned in what we do, being flexible so that we can adapt and change and choose how we respond to the circumstances around us, and then we can audaciously keep moving forward. Fine-tuned, flexible, and forward. During this time of recovery, of rebuilding, and reconnecting, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you learned. In fact, just put in the comments, please, one big takeaway from today's session. That would be awesome. We've got mixed numbers. In fact, if you can share this video, that would be terrific as well. But we've got mixed numbers participating in the weekend preludes. So give us some feedback. Let us know what you've learned from today and whether or not it was helpful. And I'm going to hand you back now to Camila. So thanks very much. I look forward to